Well guys, heading in for deer camp number 2 is what I'm going to call it. It's the 3rd day of the season. Came in day before the opener and got John's buck yesterday on the 2nd day and packed up camp, took it into town, got it in a cooler hanging, and we loaded up this morning. Had to tag a horseshoe back on Senna. She lost her front shoe sometime yesterday on the way out. Got that taken care of this morning, and we're loaded back up, heading back in, going in a different trailhead this time, same general area. Just gonna try a new trail in, I guess. Camp in a slightly different spot, move over a couple miles from where we were before. Lots of hunters. We're here again, over-the-counter public land unit, heavily pressured animals. So we're not shooting trophies in this unit. You know, any kind of 3-point, 4-point. We're just looking for maturity here. They're not going to be huge. There are some big ones occasionally we get out of here, but this is an opportunity hunt. It's fun because you can get it easily. Come hunt it every year. I'm a firm believer that if you want to be a better hunter, go hunting more. And you know, you hunt these over-the-counter units that you can just hunt every year, and you really learn what you're doing. And then when you get those good units, you draw something good. You know, your skills are all polished up and you can make it count. That's my theory anyway. So, just still waiting on that trophy unit. I don't have super good luck with draw odds, so most of what I hunt is general stuff. But that's okay. We can turn up a nice one every now and then. And you guys just gotta appreciate the beauty of nature here. The yellows and oranges and burgundy reds of all the plants along this creek. Pretty striking. Mixed in with some green trees. Gorgeous. So in this area, we share the trails with dirt bikes. Most of these trails are open to dirt bikes, not all of them. But anyhow, for those of you out here on motorcycles, I got no issue with that. But I do thank you for respecting, you know, the right-of-way of horses. And my horses are pretty good about not spooking for motorcycles, but I just ran into a guy hauling a buck out on a motorcycle, and you know, once he saw us, he got off to the side and shut his bike off, let us pass, and I really appreciate that. You know, never know what type of stock people have, and I appreciate it when guys pull over, shut the bike off. That's a big deal, and kind of let us work the horses around them, because a lot of horses are spooked by that. They're spooked by the bike, they're spooked by the motor. Thankfully mine are pretty good, but you know, sometimes I'm riding young horses too and they're not. So anyhow, thank you for those of you that do that. Appreciate it. All right, so we made camp. It's a spot I've used in the past. Got the old campfire pit there. Just undoing the manis. So this is typically when I brought a wall tent in here, this is where I've set the wall tent. But we just got the teepee this time, just John and I, so pretty easy. I didn't even bring the High Line. We got those nice trees in the shade for the horses, and this is gonna be camp number 2. Get the manis undone. All right guys, I just kind of want to show you what we brought in here. So John and I came in riding horse apiece, packed my mule Sally with all the gear we need for a couple days and 2 manis. And So both of these manis are kind of similar, but I just kind of want to show you what we brought and how we packed it. So I'm opening up my mani right now, and I've got my taku bag I think I talked about before. It's got all my camp gear in it, a sleeping bag, my pads, clothes, food, just like if you were packing, go backpacking on a trip, right? Everything's in this bag. And then this here happens to be a cat food bag because it's the only empty bag we had extra, but this is 25 pounds of hay cubes, alfalfa cubes for the horses. So I bought a 50-pound bag of alfalfa cubes. We poured half of it in this empty bag and then put 25 pounds in each mani. So we got 50 pounds of hay cubes coming in here. And then when we get a deer down, we'll dump whatever hay cubes we haven't fed out, feed them to the horses, give them to the elk, whatever. And deer meat will go in these manis with the gear to go back out, and that's how we'll get the deer out in one load. So, and then just a couple things I bring in here. So this mani had a few different, these two are deer bags that John and I use, were the same. 25 pounds of hay cubes, that was the same in each mani. This one here, I brought our 2 little camp chairs. I think I made a video on camp chairs. These are the 2 I like. So I brought 1 of each for John and I to use. And then this trip here, I didn't do this on the last hunt, because I forgot it in the trailer. But I bought a set of over the saddle panniers. So this is just a little canvas one. So if we get a deer down, we have to pack it out. And we don't put it in the manis, I can throw this on my riding horse and take it out that way. Or the other thing I really like to do is, since I mani stuff up on Sally, I like to use our manis as our ground cloths to sleep on in our teepee tent, because it's a floorless shelter. So we sleep on the manis. So then when we're out hunting tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to take a set of bags, which are really lightweight, right? These weigh like 8 pounds. And I'll just throw those over her Decker pack saddle, and then we can put our backpacks on it, and we can throw a deer on her in these bags. Like I said, I forgot them on the last hunt, so you'll see where I lashed the game bags right to the side of her, but typically I like to bring these just for that reason. And that's all I have in this mani. This one came out right around, I don't know, 78, 80 pounds, something like that. So we dumped 25 pounds of hay cubes out of there, and we have about a 55-pound mani, which is pretty light. The other one had a little bit more of our food, and John and I brought camp slippers and things like that, a set of hobbles and brush and curry comb and things like that in the other bag, but just trying to get it weight wise. Obviously I put the chairs in whichever one of our packs is a little bit lighter, that's the one it goes in. And then I use my axe on the outside of the mani to balance the load. So in this case, we made our 2 manis up. They were 5 pounds apart. It's about perfect. I throw my axe in the one that's 5 pounds lighter, and they both equal within a pound apart of each other. So that's kind of what I bring. Your stake down.
I'm going to tie to the willows.
There you go.
Here. Since we got them.
Absolutely. All right, guys, John and I are out for the evening hunt, and it's hot out, really hot out.
It's hot.
So it's about 4:30. We got camp all set up and just kind of relaxed for an hour. Got our gear together and decided we're going to try to make it up to the top here by about 5:30. Have the last hour and a half of light to see what moves. So, see what we can find. Picked up a doe and a fawn right out of the gate. It's a little bit warm yet, sitting here in the sun, and unfortunately we're glassing right into the sun, more or less. But pretty optimistic we can see a lot of country from here. And yeah, pretty nice for a little afternoon hunt. All right, we're down to the last 15 minutes of light, 20 minutes of light. And been glassing this country for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, and seeing a lot of deer, probably, I don't know, 25 or so does, 5 or 6 bucks, all little fork and horn bucks. Lots of fork and horns. Nothing bigger than that though, so we're still on the hunt. Saw lots of deer tonight, but no shooters, so we're gonna call it a night here. We'll pick you up in the morning. I think tomorrow we're hunting off horseback, so should be a good time. All right, it's an hour and a half before daylight, and we're up feeding the horses. Got these hay cubes that they're eating. Just something I like to do. I feed them in a different spot. There's Sally eating her cubes. Feed them over here in the grass where I've kind of been grazing them. It's not all fine and powdery, because where you time up for the night is typically gets real dusty and dirty. And then the hay cubes get down in that and they're eating all that dirt. So that's kind of what I like to do. Feed them someplace a little different. Sometimes I'll feed them right in the high line if I do that, and I think John's in here making.
Hey.
We jet boiling. Perfect.
Jet boiling.
So yeah, it's the fun part about having horses is you gotta get up early and take care of them, but they'll be worth it today when we're riding. And we got a big ride planned for today, doing some hunting, and should be good. All right, it is barely light enough to see. Sun's just peeking up. Just turn my headlamp off here and we're on the trail. Man, what a beautiful morning. Sun's coming up. Sitting out here. We're most of the way to the top of the mountain now. Giving the horses a breather, kind of look glassing for deer. Just peaceful. Beautiful out.
Nice to be up in the high country here. Not a person in sight, not a gunshot. Sun just coming up. Pretty good day so far.
All right, guys, we've tied the horses up on top and just walked down over a finger, and we got a lot of country to glass, lots of sagebrush, and just picked up a buck. So I got 3 does down below me, got 5 does way a long ways away, about a mile away, and then another group of 4 does about 500 yards away, 600 yards away. And I just picked up this buck, and he's just kind of walking through the sage at the moment. So we're just going to keep eyes on him, kind of put him to bed, see where he beds down, and then we'll make a stalk on him. So I guess it'll be another hour or so before he makes his permanent bed for the day, but we're just going to watch him till then. All right, walking back to the horses. Gonna ride to get a little closer, cut off 1,000 yards or so. The buck's 950 from us, but we're gonna go out and around so he can't see us on the approach. We'll tie the horses up at about 800 yards, which should leave us about a 400 or 500 yard distance to close in on him. We're hopefully where we get a little bit of a vantage point. So that's the plan. I want to get closer. I left the spotting scope on Sally, my mule, so we'll get over there, get the spotting scope on it, see what he really is, then decide from there.
The more detail, the more interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we've made our way back to the horses here, prepared for our next big stalk. Some degree of difficulty. We've got to get around some big rocky knobs here and come out on top of him, but I know Joel's got a good spot on him with GPS, so I'm going to try and sneak over there and make sure he's what we really want to do for the rest of the day. Horses are ready. I hope we are.
So here's the update. we rode the horses over the knob here where we're going to tie them up. There's 2 hunters sitting on the hillside right there below the knob. Pretty soon he came up and we just had a really nice little powwow. I didn't catch the guy's name, but I just want to say, hey, thanks for being really civil, because it turns out we're both going after the same buck. So I spot that buck coming up over a saddle. He stood there for quite a while. Well, these guys saw the same buck stand in the same saddle once we kind of got talking about what the buck was. The difference is I bedded the buck and they just saw it disappear down into the draw and they're waiting for it to come out. They didn't know it was bedded. So, you know, we kind of went back and forth and very, very civil conversation, guys working together. And I said, you know, at the end of the day, we kind of just agreed that I had the better chance of killing that buck because I know where he's at. You know, I know right where he's bedded, and he's going to be really hard to find if they don't know right where he's bedded. So they're going to stand in a spot where they can get it. If I miss, or I spook the buck on the stalk and it runs out the bottom, they're going to sit where they can shoot that buck if he comes out the bottom like that. We're coming doing our stalk from above him, so either I'm going to shoot the buck or he's going to shoot the buck, hopefully, right? I mean, trying to work together, trying to come up with a plan that satisfies both parties. So that's kind of where we're at. But just sorry I didn't catch your name, but I want to thank you for, you know, making this a pleasurable experience and letting us both have a decent hunt and just working together. So our goal is to get right up in those rocks, look down the other side, should be on top of him. So we're just working our way around, doing the stalk, trying to get in above him and within shooting distance.
So we've arrived up at the big nasty rock pile up here. Joel's trying to sneak right up to the edge where he can get a little peek over the top. And it seems like a pretty good spot from here. But that buck is dug in to a hole, like he might have his nose sticking out, maybe an antler. This is going to be a tough shot no matter what.
So we've got like 7 deer over here. I think there's 4 does and maybe 5 does, and then there's 3 bucks. 2 of them are, I think all 3 of them are 2 points basically. I can't find the big buck yet that we saw earlier, but these little 2 points, 2 of them are kind of sparring with each other.
351.
Yeah, he's at 350 yards. It's just a fork and horn. I'm pretty sure it's the same buck. He's with 2 other little bucks and a group of does. Tried to get a little footage for you, but I lost my phone scope, so just trying to do it the old-fashioned way, sticking the lens to the camera. But anyway, I think we're gonna pass on him. I'm actually gonna go back. These other group of guys are sitting over here 800 yards behind us watching these deer. They're up in a spot where they can see them now, and we're gonna back out and let them have it if they want it. Yeah, I think that's the polite thing to do. Leave these bucks alone and let those other guys shoot them if they want to. Well, just coming back to the horses and see these guys that were watching us. They're gonna, looks like they're gonna come over and talk to us. So I'll show them the film footage of what I took and what the buck is, and let them go have it if they want. We're gonna go hop on. I think we're gonna eat some lunch, and then we'll do some more. Hop on, do some more riding and hunting. And you know, it feels like slim pickings, but the reality is we've seen 25 deer today and 4 little bucks. So I guess that's not horrible. Bucks, but just not seeing a lot of deer regularly. I mean, we're having to hunt pretty hard for them. Mostly finding them bedded, which is tough. Anybody that says it's easy to find bedded deer in sagebrush knows something I don't know.
Well, we're right in the middle of a move here, going to a new spotting and scoping spot, and Joel looked down and saw something bedded down there.
Should we
Boys are
Horse is helping me out. Just trying to chill with that. It's funny, I found the one, and the closer I look, I can see the more. See him? Tree. And the other two. We're out there patient. So we just got here under this tree. We're going to tie up the horses and then do a little bit more glassing, see if we can't find some more bedded deer. Well, sitting here glassing, John just picked up 2 deer, a little spike and a doe. And it's funny, they just stood up and started grazing a little bit, and all of a sudden you can see them. We glassed over 2 or 3 times, didn't see anything. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's hot, everything's bedded. I just spotted those 4 does back behind us on the horses in the shade of a tree. So just kind of trying to stay cool ourselves and see what we can spot.
Anybody else coming out?
I think we're going to work our way down the drainage. Horses haven't had water since this morning and it's really hot. So we're going to pick this drainage and work our way down it. Get down to the bottom of the creek and get them watered up. So we're working our way down this drainage and it's pretty steep. So I've got Ozzy tied into Sally. I'm sweeping his horse down. We're just trying to get down to the creek. Oh, a little bit nasty coming down this creek drainage here. It's steep on both sides and can't really walk the bottom out. It's all overgrown and rough, and there's little side game trails a little bit, but they all angle up, and we need to drop elevation. So we're kind of pushing our way through the brush and making it the best we can down to the bottom. Back down to the bottom, got the horses some water, and riding the creek out. Nice and easy, Muzzy. Well, you guys, we have to camp. Got the horses unsaddled and watered up, and they're tired. And John was quite frankly a little tired too, I think. So he's staying in camp and just going to graze horses and kind of relax for the evening. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm just walking. Gonna go hunt on foot and see what I can come up with this evening. So I have a little over 2 hours of daylight left. Right about 2 hours of daylight left. And yeah, we'll see what I can find. All right, 6 o'clock. I'm almost to the top where I want to glass. And so far this basin I'm going up, seeing a group of 5 does and then another group of 3. So 8 deer total, no bucks, but they're on the move at least. Stay after them. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a little frosty out. It was definitely colder last night than it has been, which is good. It needs to start getting cold. So we're getting horses fed up. Unfortunately, I gotta go back to work for a few days, so we're wrapping it up here this morning. John says he doesn't have to go back to work. He's retired. So that's the plan. We slept in just a little bit. It's about 10 minutes after daylight here and 20 minutes after daylight, but we're just breaking camp this morning, heading back out to the truck and getting the horses fed up the last of the cubes. And yeah, so still got another 20 days of the season left or so, so I'll come back out at some point and try to fill my tag. But it's been a fun 4 days here camping, and got John a nice little buck. I think we'll call it quits there. I'll give you a little film of the pack up and pack out and call it quits. Thanks for following along. Appreciate you.
Getting ready to break camp. All the gear's packed up, just time to saddle the horses.
Always make sure your cinch is tight before you start loading. All right, we're all loaded up. Leaving camp. Got Sally loaded. Everybody's mounted. Heading back to the truck. What a nice leisurely morning. I have to say, it is a lot of fun when you're not in a hurry. I'm usually doing this to get everything loaded and ready and out, and so we can hit the trail early and just in a rush. And John and I just had a wonderful morning. Made breakfast, talked about life, made a little instructional video on how to barrel hitch manis. Just kind of fun when you're not in a hurry. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.